everyone. Happy Wednesday morning. I have changed locations in my house again, but it is Tuesday night for me, and I am here to talk about nutrition. So, day 3 of prep, and this is what we're going to focus on. And I think that, kind of based on some of the questions I've seen, this is the most apprehension that people have, but it is one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, to ensuring your success on this journey. And I think the thing I like best about the nutrition plan for Beachbody is, while it seems very complicated with these containers, it's very, very simple. And I'll kind of walk through some steps on how you can keep it simple and how you can set yourself up for success for this plan. So if you go back and think about what I said on day 1 to you, is just kind of go over the different materials that you got. 2 of the ones that are going to be important that we'll go over tonight, or this morning, sorry, I'm operating in tonight, on nutrition, are going to be this Beachbody Transform 20 nutrition guide that you should have received. And if you don't actually physically have these, all of them are on Beachbody On Demand and the program materials part of Transform 20. So keep that in mind. You have access as a Beachbody On Demand member to every single plan that's associated with every single workout program. So most of the workouts will use this portion control container system. But if you've heard of 2B Mindset, that is another option. And if you want to know more about that, I have plenty to say about that. And I love that program as well. But since most of us are going to be doing the portion control program, that's what I'll focus on tonight. And I'll just kind of go over what that means, what that means to you, and how you can kind of set yourself up for success with that. So the second thing that I'll talk about is going to be within this transformation tracker. And this is going to kind of go over just a tool that you can use that I like, and I like Sean, just daily to kind of track that. So first off, within the nutrition guide, what you will want to do, the very first thing, if you are taking notes, if you're not, you don't have to take notes because it's pretty easy, is you're going to go to page 4, and it is going to spell out how it works. And it is going to say, find your plan. You need to understand how it works, and you need to find your plan. Surprise! So really, this just kind of keeps everything into a calorie range. So this is not going to be something that you're like counting calories. It's more just counting the containers and the types of food that you're eating. No type of food necessarily is restricted. Probably can't eat tons of Reese's, because that's not going to be a good idea, even though I like those. But within that range, you're not cutting carbs, right? So a lot of diets cut carbs. What I like about this is it's a lifestyle, because in my mind, it is 100% not realistic to cut carbs completely. Who doesn't eat carbs? I love carbs. My kids all love carbs. I have one kid that, I'm not even kidding, lives off of carbs. But so you get all of these different things. So within each of the plans has the kind of calorie range. And then if you're a woman, which everyone on here is, or a man, my husband's doing this with us too, it tells you the type of container, the number of containers that you'll want. So if you did not get containers, super cheap on Amazon, do not buy the Beachbody ones. I'm telling you that the quality is exactly the same. So I will send everyone in this list also a kind of cheat sheet of what they are. Purple, really quick, purple and green. Purple and green. This is fruit. This is veggies. These are all 1 cup. Next up is protein. I think this is 2/3 a cup. This is red. I think this is 1/3 a cup. I don't remember. Maybe 1/4 a cup. This is your carbs, or your yellow. And then you have your healthy fats, which is blue. And then you have this, which is oil and seeds. So, and then there's also a teaspoon, which they don't give you a teaspoon. I would assume everyone has a teaspoon. So step number 1, find out how many containers you need per day. I am eating in Plan B because I am breastfeeding. So because of that, I'm bumping up some of my caloric intake. So I will be in Plan B, but if you're in Plan A, keep that in mind. on how many containers you want. So a lot of people I feel like get this and they're like, oh my gosh, I only got one container. That's all I get. No. You get, like, if you're on plan A, you get 2 of these every day. And so let's think about fruit. This is my next step into my next portion of this. All fruit does not fit in this. So think of a banana. I mean, you could cut it up, but that's kind of annoying. You could do an apple, but that's kind of annoying. So there are food lists that are within this book. That's super helpful. Again, this is all on Beachbody On Demand within that. Or if you want to get super fancy, you can download the Beachbody Nutrition app. And within that app, and we should talk about it a little bit. It's a pretty cool app, but I'll send you what that is. But it tells you how many. I did not track my portions today. Usually I do in here. But you can put in how many portions you get, and then you track it throughout the day. And what's really cool is they also have some featured recipes, and so you can do that. But in each of them, there should be a container count. I will find that for you. I feel like it's in here. I don't know where it is, but the types of food are in your app as well. I'm sorry, I'm definitely not loving this light either. But anyway, so step number 2, once you figure out how many containers you need, what I would recommend doing is going through this list, whether you print it off or you use this, and highlight the ones that you like. So, I mean, there's not going to be something confusing on veggies. It's going to be like your normal veggies. But I will tell you that the way it's listed from top to bottom, the top ones are the most nutritious ones for you. So keep that in mind. Another surprising thing is, like, sometimes you'll look on this, Trisha, who is part of our group, hi Trisha, was emailing me about just some like mixed foods. So like jambalaya is an example that she gave. If they eat jambalaya, like, how do you get a container count on that? And what I thought of, which I didn't point out to her, which is interesting, is tomato sauce. 1 cup of tomato sauce is actually a fruit in this plan. So you need to keep that in mind, which I don't think I included in my email back to her. But there's all kinds of proteins, and it kind of goes through. So what you like I don't like sweet potatoes. That's a carb. That's a really healthy carb. I don't like them. I know. I'm like a terrible person because so many people do. But just kind of go through this list. Understand what this is. If you are drinking Shakeology, there are also different types of bases that you can drink. Like, I drink mine with unsweetened almond milk, and that counts as oil and nut butter's teaspoon. So I need to count that as a teaspoon for every 8 fluid ounces of unsweetened almond milk I use. So keep that in mind. Everything you're putting in your mouth, there is a type of container. If you have questions about the type of containers, please let me know. I am not an expert, but I've been doing this for a very long time. So number 2, this might be a little bit longer. I'm trying. Sorry, there's lots of information in here. Number 2, plan. What I'm going to tell you is, if you start the day and you do not have a plan on what you're planning on eating, even if you miserably fail that plan that day, you can always start over. Always have a plan. When you wake up, if you're going to work, if you're a stay-at-home mom, whatever your life is, all of our lives are busy. I will tell you, I do not stay at home, but the days that are at home, I feel like I have less time to focus on this. So I will tell you, even if you are at home, don't think that's a reason to just go willy-nilly on your plan. Have a plan. Know what you're going to be eating for breakfast, for your snack, like about what time. It doesn't have to be exact, but have that plan because it's so important. Personally, I like to prep on Sundays just because usually our weekdays are just get crazy, and like I never know what's going to happen with work. So I'll put together a menu on Saturdays, go shopping on Sundays, and then I'll prep anything that I need to. I'm also a huge freezer meal person. So if you want some freezer meal recipes, we have free groups on my website. I have multiple sets of our freezer meal group recipes that have 6 recipes and then grocery lists accompanied with them, and I love them. So we have a deep freeze. We have so much. I cook, like I will put the meals together, so in the mornings I don't have to worry about it. So most days I use the crock pot or an Instant Pot to get everything ready to have cooked and ready to go. So If you do not want to plan and that is not your personality, that is okay. So everyone has different personalities. I'm a huge planner. You don't have to be like me. You can literally write it on a Post-it note. Anyone with any personality can do this. You just have to find what works for you. If you cannot find what's working for you, please let me know. I will help you. We can brainstorm different ways. I've worked with tons of different people. I have tons of different coaches. Everyone has a different personality. Keep that in mind. You can do this. I promise. Okay, so number 3, this is going to be the most important part of this. Keep it simple. So I have a bunch of resources. I have a bunch of spreadsheets. I'm a huge Excel nerd, so I love that stuff. You don't have to be. You can use any of my resources. You can make your own. You can write them on a piece of paper. Don't overthink this. Keep this simple. Eat the same thing for lunch every day. If you're the type of person who can eat the same thing every day, more props to you because this plan is going to be amazing. I am not, and I need different stuff every day. So it takes me a little bit more time to be thoughtful about what I'm eating, what I'm planning, and the different snacks. My snacks usually stay the same. But here's the biggest tip. I hope you're still listening because I'm almost 12 minutes into this. So I'm really sorry. I'm just very passionate about this. My biggest tip to you, figure out what types of food you are eating during the day at the same time and keep it like that consistently in your meal plan. What does that mean? That means for me, as an example, every morning for breakfast, I have a protein, I have a fruit, and I have a vegetable. So sometimes that looks like Shakeology on the weekday mornings because I have protein for my shake. I put half a banana in there, frozen, only frozen. And then I put a cup of spinach. So that's my breakfast with those 3 components. On the weekends, I'll do eggs that are protein, veggies in my eggs, and then I'll have fruit on the side. I do not change the type of containers I eat at every meal. I always eat the combination of protein, and sometimes I'll add a carb on the weekends, to be clear. But protein, fruit, and vegetables in the morning. Then I have a snack where I have this same thing, where I usually have carbs and fruit. And then I will have lunch where I have protein, veggies, and a carb. And then I will have a snack of, I do usually veggies for that. I can't remember now. I'm on the spot. And then I always save protein, veggies, and carbs, 1 carb for dinner. So again, I get 3 carbs, I think, on plan B. But keep that in mind as you're kind of planning your day, is if you cook for your family or eating with a significant other, or you're going out to eat with your friends, and you want to have carbs, that's fine, but you just need to plan your day accordingly and have the carb that's this size and not the huge size. So you don't have to take your containers with you, but just keep in mind what this is. So that's my biggest thing. It's my biggest tip. It's been the most helpful for me. Also, just thinking about how you're going to track it. I mentioned the Beachbody Nutrition app, which I'll put in there, but then this is also a super helpful tool. If you got this in the accessory pack, which I think everyone did, track what you're eating throughout the day. And the biggest thing on this is if you are not having success, and you're coming to me saying, this is not working for me, I'm not seeing the results I want to see, my question to you is going to be, what are you eating? How are you planning? Are you getting your workouts in? Are you making them a priority? Are you making your food? Are you making your planning? Are you making your water a priority? Right now, I'll tell you, those are the questions that I'm going to ask you, because when people come and say this is not working for me, I'm going to ask what it is. And if you can't tell me and you say, well, I'm eating Cheetos or Chex Mix, I'm going to say, guess what? That's why it's not working. Because this takes discipline and it takes sacrifice. But my thing is I have found fantastic recipes that my family and I love that are super healthy. We love spaghetti squash. I'll tell you that. We love zoodles. So instead of eating noodles, we're eating vegetables, but they taste delicious. My kids will eat spaghetti squash. Just different things like that I never thought I would try. I've gotten to try. So keep your options open on that if you want to explore. There's lots of stuff to explore. If you literally want to eat chicken and salad and vegetables every single night, do it. It's fine. My husband hates chicken, so I can't do that. But keep it simple. Ask me questions. Lean on each other. Lean on the group. Do not feel overwhelmed. I promise that after like 1 week of doing this, if you use these tips that I've given you, you will be a rock star and you will start to see amazing results and you'll start to feel amazing. So that's all I got. I've gone 15 minutes. So I'm super excited for this part of it. I'm more excited about this because I, at this point in my journey, do not have an issue getting up to work out. My issue is eating. So I will be on this journey just as much as you all will, and I will be tracking my containers. I will be making sure that I'm on track, and every time I want a treat, I will be thinking about every single one of you, knowing you're not going to eat those M&Ms at your office, just like I'm not going to. So anyways, happy Wednesday. Hope you have a good hump day, and I'll see you tomorrow.